Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Madam Zabida Zaharam and all my fellow friends. My name is Nurshamiera Binti from JBA242 It is an honor for me to deliver the presentation. The topic of my presentation is corruption, fraud, and scandals are common in Malaysian business these days. Ethical problems in corporate administration have always existed. But in the new digital world, their form and quantity have changed. Business administration is getting more complicated in the 21st century as a multitude of legal problems arises concurrently. It appears like every day we receive reports about a new corporation that has behaved at least unlawfully in the activity and financial statements of their firm's management activities. In industry, there are several ethical concerns. The big problem we can see like fraud, scandals, and corruptions. These are forming of dishonesty and criminal offense undertaken by a person or organization entrusted with the position of authority to acquire benefit or abuse power for one private gain. Even though there are a lot of ways of the government to prevent these things occur again, unfortunately, it still happens in this country. Being honest and sincerely in every work done is really necessary. This is to ensure that we will not get any trouble in the future. The content of this article is the cases of corruption, fraud and scandals in business are one of the most common problems in the world. Malaysia not left behind with the cases. As shown in a 2019 Transparency International ranking, Malaysia is among the 51 least corrupt countries in 180 nations. While several cases pursued by the police, the problems are also on the increase. It looks like people do not take this as a serious matter. It shows that the case is getting more critical and how many of the employees do not work honestly and sincerely. The problems that being captured in the article is how critical the cases of corruption, fraud and scandals in Malaysia. In 2013, people taking bribes of the 30 countries observed by Transparency International identified to be the most common in Malaysia. These problems will increase the business costs in the country if they are left unregulated. The results from KPMG Malaysia present a characteristic of fraudster that record 83% of men between 26 and 40 years old that record 58%, which is the highest record. Their total earnings are between 60,000 and below. People with income between 25,000 to 40,000 are recorded the highest percentage of fraudster, which is 37%. They mostly work in the company for 5 or few years, which is 48% among them. The reason why they act like that: firstly, because of their greedy attitude and wanted to continue their lifestyle. They worried if they get less than what they usually receive before this. Over than 40% of respondents assumes that people break the law because of their lifestyle that they choose to require on money. Besides that, they were able to do so because of the poor management monitoring in companies. Next, some Malaysian business claims that bribes are the only opportunity for them to boost the agreements. It is easier for them to win a deal by spending extra money than they had to lose. For example, if they fail to get the contract, it will affect the reputation of the people and the company. So other people might not getting deal with them after this. Now, let's look to the video. Do you know there are differences between giving presents and bribes?
Guidelines for giving and receiving business gifts. Occasionally in business, there are times when it becomes appropriate to either give or receive a gift. Here is a quick guide to help you determine what manner of gifts are generally acceptable, questionable, and unacceptable. Generally acceptable. Gifts of nominal value bearing the company logo. Occasional meals or entertainment that are not lavish, attended by both the giver and receiver, and include business discussions. Questionable. Gifts to government officials. Gifts of more than nominal value. Requests for charitable contributions. Multiple gifts to or from the same person. Unacceptable. Gifts intended to influence a business decision. Lavish gifts. Gifts of cash or cash equivalent, such as gift cards. Gifts or payments to government officials for expedited service. We hope this has provided you with some quick information regarding giving and receiving business gifts. Remember to check with your manager whenever you have a question about whether to give or accept a business courtesy.
Lastly, according to the observation, decreased internal controls, lack of know-how in fraud detection, and absence of fraud sensitivity training to identify red flags are widely seen among business. Until now, this problem still cannot be solved, even though there are a lot of steps to overcome it. The Commission of Malaysian Anti-Corruption state it examines the results of the study and wants to develop the strongest strategy to reduce it. So the focus are on tracking, prevention, and schooling corruption in companies. Prevention is designed to reduce fraud, while tracking is the implementation to uncover fraud when it's occurred, and lastly, schooling is the evaluation to facilitate the corrective action and harm minimization. However, we cannot expect this problem will settle in a day, since success needs time. In brief, till now, Malaysia still struggles to overcome the fraud, corruption, and scandal cases. Obviously, it will cost the credibility and reverence for government, public, and financial institutions that going to be weak. It also provides a good atmosphere for the secret crimes. These cases were found to be critical development barriers for the growth countries. Listed among one of the countries that having these cases is not something that we can be proud of. We may claim that once there are controls, nothing could done for these situations in the citizens to fight. Laws can work only when people are together against it. Both regulations also had impact and lawsuits about unethical practices, except people are coming out to fight bad events. Missing education is among the biggest hurdles of anti-corruption campaigns, and fewer are conscious of their correct way and the solutions for the aggressive faction to take measures towards corrupt officials. Citizens are mindful of the transition in culture, and in the end, Malaysia is a powerful nation on the world. Practice unethical behavior in daily life will lead to the negative impacts, whether by the self, environment, or country. It not bring any benefits. So, self-awareness is a must and come a crucial thing for the people to realize what they are doing actually in a wrong way. For example, if someone wants to give the bribe, so another party who have self-awareness must not receive it. When they are not taken, the giver does not exist. In my point of view, the author told us briefly about the cases, why it is happening, and how to handle them. The explanations are clear and easy to understand. However, for the ways to handle the cases of corruption, fraud, and scandals, the author just stated the point without giving the further explanations. There are 10 examples on how we can prevent these cases. We should be more conscious of this scenario. We cannot let it be forever until there is no one bothered about it anymore. Next, I like how the simple sentence that the author stated. The core element of corruption is that it has two parties, a giver and a taker. It gives a big meaning behind of it. Simply said, if there is only a party to it, the plan will never be success. Both of them have a big role. Look at the pie chart. Matches that consist of takers and givers having the highest percentage each, which is 56%. That means most of them agreed to do so. So that's all for me. Thank you for lending your time.